Hello and good afternoon. Happy Mindset Monday. Welcome to the Women in Leadership Body, Mind, Soul, and Business podcast, Mindset Monday. I am Charlie.
And I'm Heather. And today we are talking about smirty.
Smearty.
Smirty.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. Memory. I love it. I'm very excited. Before we get into memory stuff, I want to talk about seeking silence. Silence is a source of great strength by
Lao Su. Easy you. Su.
Yeah. Why would we need to seek silence? We are surrounded by noise all day. We may not even realize it from the second we get up in the morning to the time we go to bed. And some of that is just going on. We don't even know it. We might not even be aware that the noise is creating biological stresses in our body. And so what that looks like is that our bodies create more stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, which if you're trying to manage anxiety or depression or manage your weight, those are not the hormones you want your body making more of, right? They're the opposite you want. So what happens is the noise disrupts our thought processes, and then that impairs our performance and diminishes our ability to concentrate. So, and that's just that interruption. When you have more than one child in your home and every 3 minutes they come in and ask you a question, as a parent, you're like, how am I going to ever work? So I think that was something that a lot of parents we went through when we all of a sudden had our kids home, and then they're constantly talking to us, right? Whereas we're used to having our brains during that time of the day. That was super hard adjustment.
It was really hard adjustment. And, we tend to, there's memes everywhere. You see them of women, mothers, parents working from home. They'll like lock themselves in the bathroom and you see the kids' fingers and hands up underneath the door, or, somebody sneaks a picture of the kids all sitting outside the door from a different angle on the outside. But, we try to pull ourselves back to clear our distractions so that we can work on things, and it's not always easy. It can be very difficult, and being able to reduce the amount of noise mentally and physically will reduce the stress. And we know this from experience that children and people with autism and anxiety, their sensory receptors for things like noise is elevated.
So if you just like take a second and just concentrate on what you can hear around you. Like I can hear the heater going, I can hear keys tapping, I can hear the airplane going over, I can hear paper, like, and you think about all of those things, your body and your mind is processing all of that auditory stuff.
Yeah, and you might not mentally like what's the word I'm looking for? You might not be aware that your body is being affected by this. You might not be fully aware of all the things that you're hearing all the time, but it does get to the point of overwhelming at times. And being sensitive to yourself, know your limits. How much you
know your kids' limits too. Being parents of autistic children, I know that we're way more conscious about noise levels than probably the average person would normally need to be. I can remember like trying to go grocery shopping, and just like over time I learned that the sound of the lights and then the sound of like all the different things happening in the grocery store, that by the time you get up to the register and then you add in multiple registers, making change and dinging and beeping. That was like way too much stimulus. And you've seen this, right? You've seen those kids having the meltdowns at the front of the store.
Anybody else love the fact that the schools have changed to LED lights from fluorescents, or your
Amen.
office buildings, and you're not hearing the buzz all day long?
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Right?
Yes. So yeah. So
Things like that. Yeah, for sure. And all these distractions not only pulls away from your ability to embrace silence, but it also has an effect on your memory, because what you expose yourself to, you bring onto yourself. So what are you listening to? What sounds are affecting your body and your mind and your mindset and your personal space, right? All that stuff has effect on us and our memory.
absolutely. I think that goes right into the quote for the week too.
It does.
I was like, wow.
So it is surprising how much memory is built around things unnoticed at the time. Barbara Kingslover. Okay. And this week's exercise is around memory, and we are going to be talking about memory all week this week, and I'm really excited for you guys to hear more about it, because this week's guests are going to be awesome, and we're going to talk a lot about this week's theme. So choose something easy that you want to learn, like a song or a sutra, and repeat it so many times that it becomes part of you. Okay. And that plays directly into memory. Everybody can remember the lyrics of a song or the words from a poem. I remember when I was little, I think my brother, who's about a year and a half, 2 years older than me, he was in like 3rd or 4th grade, and he had to memorize a poem as an assignment for English class. So, and everybody in the class was memorizing different Shel Silverstein poems. So he memorized Shel Silverstein's Thumb Face poem, and he would walk around the house practicing it, and we'd practice it with him and everything else. And I still remember that poem because we practiced it so many times. It has become a part of me, and it has become part of my memories, right?
That's so cool.
Isn't it cool? And I could probably tell it to you right now, but I'm not going to. But I do.
We weren't trying to put you on the spot.
So ask me one day if you guys see me around to quote Thumb Face by Shel Silverstein, and I can tell you the whole thing still to
cool.
this day.
I would think that mine would be reading the Thomas the Train books to my son, that we read the same 4 stories over and over again, and I had like a little song and a little cadence to how we did it, and you make fun with the things you're doing, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm saying these same things over and over. And just stop, Jane, stop. Okay, sorry.
And the next one is, the next time you notice a potential misunderstanding about to happen between you and someone else, clarify what the other person said up front and ask to make sure that you heard it correctly. So sometimes what we hear, the sound, our brains don't compute that correctly, and we didn't understand them. And sometimes the words they use, they mean one thing, right? But we think and understand it differently.
We talk a lot about that perception, the 4 agreements. We haven't talked about it in a while, but we talk about how we're hearing someone say something has to do with our experiences, not necessarily what they're trying to say to us.
Right.
And it goes both ways.
Absolutely.
So that clarifying what they're actually saying, I always like that for.
There was a really good quote in the book.
You're gonna find it.
I'm gonna go find it. So
I always like that when you're talking to the little kids and you need to clarify what they're actually asking you, because sometimes you'll think they're asking you a question like, where do babies come from? And they just mean like, are we going to the hospital? Or they didn't, so you end up answering the wrong question. And
So it says, every time we act or think or speak, we draw from our memory. Therefore, what we remember directly affects our behavior and the way we perceive the outside world. If we are to act in a kinder and gentler manner, then we must be careful and vigilant with what we expose ourselves to. Everything, every time we act or think or speak, we draw from our memory. Every time. Every time.
Because our brains are going so fast, they're drawing from our memories in order to create the response that's supposed to be appropriate for the situation.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Think of activities that you do that may be detrimental to your spiritual growth. We're calling you out today. Think of activities that you may that you do that may be detrimental to your spiritual growth. Can you modify them or replace them with more positive and inwardly satisfying activities? And it might be something as simple as I am a firm believer that hydration is super important, right? And hydration clears the toxins from your body. Making sure you're hydrated clears the toxins from your body and your mind. If you are not properly hydrated, it has effects on other things. So simply replacing your second cup of coffee in the morning with a bottle of water, right? That
Or
can
before
help.
you have that second cup of water or the first cup, or I mean,
Right.
of coffee.
Have a cup of water
Have a cup of
first.
water first.
Yeah, absolutely. So think about some of the things that you might be doing that is no longer serving you. That personal growth path.
Are you allowing yourself to be in an overwhelmed state of mind instead of being in control of your schedule?
Yeah.
Are you reminding yourself that you chose these things for your life? Or are you letting yourself feel, you get that opportunity to work on that?
Right. And some other opportunities to work on specifically things that we talked about today is to change the noise pollution in your life.
So some ways you can do that is to assess your environment. So we kind of talked about that a little bit, just stopping and listening to what's around you so you can assess what your noise level is. What are you stressing out? How are your body feel with where you're at?
You can create a quieter environment. A lot of times you can reduce the volume of the TV or just simply turn it off and listen to instrumental music instead. And you can listen to popular songs, the instrumental version, all over the place. One of my favorite channels to listen to on Pandora right now is Vitamin String Quartet. It's all more popular songs and things like that, but just instrumental. There's no words to it, and you can adjust the volume, turn it
And
up or
it's
down.
less intrusive because the music is very soothing and relaxing, but they don't have the words there to interrupt your thought processes. So we find that we'll work better, and then the little noises like the dogs moving around are less disruptive, or a plane going over, they're less disruptive to our brains. The next thing you could try is just spending time in naturally quiet places. So I like to sit in this space. And sometimes we'll even turn the heater off, like we really just naturally, both of us quiet the spaces without even doing it intentionally. But I think intentionally we could get even quieter.
Yeah, and this space is really great for reducing the sound because yes, I have a window and I have a door, but all four walls are insulated as well as overhead. So it really reduces the amount of noise that comes into this space, which helps me focus and calms my anxiety and just really helps reduce the amount of stress that I'm feeling due to noise. And I know it helps you, and I know it helps me. We like to come out here and sit and work because it's so quiet. It's very nice. And then also to turn off the noise purposely. Okay. If you have noise going on every night of the week, maybe choose a day to not watch TV. You know, it's might be good for your kids to find something else
Or
to do.
even turning the noise of the TV down a little.
Mhm.
Like turn the TV down, turn the music down a little. Like bring it down a notch and see how your body reacts to that.
Mhm.
Like, okay, that was a little much. Like
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
know that we're both really sensitive to that because again, we have children that are sensitive to it and it makes a huge difference in their lives. So
It really does. It really does.
if you're using really loud appliances, you can wear earplugs or noise canceling headphones. You know, when you're vacuuming or the blenders going on, these are all really loud things. I usually tell my son, hey, I'm going to do this. You know, you go in your room and shut your door or put your headphones on. We usually have good communication around it, but he can't be in the room with like a vacuum cleaner. It just it's too much. Like
Yeah.
it
It's
literally
that kind of noise.
sets every like hair on edge.
Like Freya, she hates the vacuum, right? She doesn't do well with loud vibrational noises.
Right.
Right. And so taking a step back and noticing what gets you going.
Yeah.
You know, just really quiet things down, lower the volumes, you know, still enjoy what you enjoy, but, you know, bring it down a notch. We're so used to everything being so loud here in the United States. We are loud people.
Even like taking I like the last suggestion was to take a quiet night. So one night a week, purposely create minimal distraction where you're going to turn the TV off. You're going to do something like reading or playing a board game or even just sitting silently in nature. But you could practice this even in the car. Like instead of turning the radio on to distract you, just keep the radio off. Like the road noise is a lot all of itself, and just changing what you're listening to, and that goes back to memory too. Because if we're exposing ourselves to the way other people talk to other people, is that the way you want to be talking to yourself? Is that the way you want your kids to be talking to themselves? Is that the way you want the people around you to talk to you? So being really cautious is a really good place for you to really control that. You can control the narrative in the car and really keep that in check for yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's why I like the audiobooks. It's
Yeah.
like either an audiobook with someone I know how they're going to be talking to me, or or it's just silence because my child can't handle it. Now it's super fun watching him explore music because he's like got headphones on and he's singing along, but the music he likes doesn't usually have words, so he's like making the noises of the noise. Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh,
so
this is so
cute.
fun.
Yeah.
So fun.
He's so cute with his headphones on. Yeah.
Call to action today would be to join our email list. How you do that is hit that link tree, go to the top there. Right at the top is the button, click that, scroll down to the bottom of the page, put your email address in there, and make sure you don't miss out on anything.
Yes. Oh yeah, we have some really exciting things coming out in our emails. So make sure you sign up for our email list. This week's schedule, we have
I'm so excited.
podcaster and anchor Lynn Brunet coming tomorrow afternoon. Wednesday, we have empowerment coach Anna Marie DiGiorgio. Wednesday morning. Yeah,
I have goosebumps. I'm so excited for this week, you guys.
Friday, we have Feminine Energy Mastermind Susan Gala. And then Friday afternoon, we are going to be attending Susan's, it's at noon Pacific time. It's a moon goddess gathering. We're so excited to be able to attend it this time. We missed the last one, and She is just absolutely amazing with a heart of gold. I can't wait for you guys
So-
to meet her.
If you trust us, which I'm sure you do, since you trust us and if you are interested in joining that event, you could meet her that morning and come to the event with us that day. Let us know. We'll be happy to get you the information for that.
Oh, and I'm going to share the information on our Facebook page. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can sign up for it now actually. So I'll get that posted over there too. Yeah.
Yes. So thank you so much for joining the Women in Leadership Body, Mind, Soul, and Business podcast, Mindset Monday.
Namaste.